Hi and welcome back to Create Finders. So today we are going to start a new series where we are going to learn React hooks absolutely from scratch, and step by step we'll see all the React hooks which are available inside React 18, which are inside the functional component. So we'll explore those and see how you can utilize it with ease. So first of all, we are going to see in this video about useState hook. Now useState hook is used for storing your data to maintain a state. Now in order to use useState, you import this using the object destructuring from the React library, and here you can now call the useState. Now this useState function actually returns you an array which you can use like this, and then here you get exactly two pieces of data. Let's say I get here the counter, and the other thing is a setter function to which I can name set counter. Now the naming of these two variables is absolutely on you. Whatever you want to give it name, you can give it name, but definitely keep in your mind that this thing is the state of snapshot of a data, whatever the use state thing is going to provide you, and this is the setter function for this. So normally there is a convention like whatever you have the data, the name, you usually use a set word behind it and then set the entire function name. Now here I can define the default value to be 0. Now from here I would like to do a react.fragments. I would like to return the react.fragments, where inside the h1 tag I will dynamically inject the counter so that I can see the counter in real life. So if you see, here is my counter, the 0. Let me try to have one more thing. Let me just try to have a div inside this, and so that I can center the data. So just let's try to save this, and inside the styles tags, let me just give a style. Let me do a display of flags, flex, flags direction, flags direction is row I set, and then I said that the justify contents is toward the center, align the items towards the center, give it a height of, let's say I want to give it a inner height of, sorry, let me just put a comma, let me give a height of, let's say 500 pixels. Let's save this, and now everything is centered. And to this h1, let's give it a let's say style is equal to font size, and let's give it a 40 pixels of font size. That will be, I think, enough. Yeah, so here you get the piece. Now what I want to do using this set state, I want to have two buttons which can now manipulate the data using this. So the first button I set to increment, and the second button I set to decrement, just like this. Hit save, and you get two buttons over here. I think you can easily view this. We have two buttons aligned over here. When I press on the increment, I get the number incremented, and when I press the decrement, I get the number decremented. I hope these things are pretty much clear to you. Now inside this, let's save this, and now the state is absolutely fine. Now what I want to do, when I press the button, and in React you use the on click like this, and I want increment handler just like this, and on the decrement I need to have something like this, where I can have something known as decrement handler just like this. And now here I can do something like this, const increment handler is equal to, and now I can do set counter, and here I can do counter plus plus. Okay, but here you see that counter is a constant. So definitely what you would like to do over here is you do some can you do something like this, counter is equal to counter plus plus, or let's say counter plus 1. Here you say counter is a constant. If you do a quick fix, nothing can be done. So in order to fix this thing, what you can do, you can just do set counter, and inside this you get the value to be increased. Let's say you can do, you here you get the previous counter. The previous counter is, let's say, 0. So here I can now do that the previous counter is equal to plus 1, just like this. And if I need to handle my decrement, so I can do a decrement handler just like this. And over here I can now assure that my counter gets updated with real time. So I do previous counter -1 just like this. If I hit save, you see now my counter updates. So this is how useState can be utilized whenever you need. Another thing would be, let's say I have another button which toggles counter. That means it will show and hide the counter. So here I can have another piece of useState, and you can have as many useStates you want. The default value I will set it to false, and now I can do the same practice. I get is counter, I set this to is counter visible. I set is counter visible, and now I can check for this, that if the counter is visible, just like this, if the counter is visible and then I want to return my entire thing. Okay, so we can have this fragments and then return the entire code. If the counter is visible, then display this. Otherwise I write nothing. So this thing we can do. And now when I click just like this, now on click I can set this thing to my own personal preferences. So I can set as counter, I get the previous state, and I can do previous state just like this. If I hit save, now you can see I can see the counter, and if I press the toggle, the things can be decremented. I'm handling my state pretty much. You can see I'm implementing my state. So like this, in React you can use the useState hook. Okay, it's really as simple as that while we use the useState hook. Or if you don't want to do a destructuring of this, you can also do something like this: react.useState, and that will also work absolutely fine. No issues are there. But definitely this is how you implement useState hook in React. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys, and keep liking the videos, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you in the next one.